Well, the Friday that you were on vacation in Florida, and Chris Honorado was filling in for you, when I came on the show that morning with Chris, I had heard the night before, I had talked to some personnel people at an AFC club, and they had said to me that they had gotten a call from the Jets inquiring if they had interest in Mark Sanchez. This is an AFC team that I will not identify, but will say has a need for a quarterback. And they were asked if they had interest in trading for Sanchez at a reasonable price. They're not asking for a king's bounty here. You know, they're going to make a move if they do at a reasonable price. So that tipped me off that the Jets are very actively shopping Sanchez because they understand the significance now of what they've done by acquiring Tim Tebow.
Yeah, they got a real mess on their hands here. A lot of publicity, good, bad, or indifferent, and really going to be very difficult to have a two-quarterback system with Sanchez and Tebow.
There's no question about it. Tim Tebow's not a typical backup quarterback. And if you're a kid like Mark Sanchez who's really struggled with his confidence throughout his career, you don't need to be looking over your shoulder at what's behind you. You need to be focused on what's in front of you and getting the job done. And right now, Tim Tebow's nothing but a distraction to Mark Sanchez. So I do believe that the Jets will have him moved possibly this weekend, but if not this weekend, certainly in time for the minicamp run starting in May.
So you think that is a realistic possibility that Mark Sanchez will no longer be a Jet sometime in the very near future?
Yeah, and I'm not just throwing stuff against the wall here. This was an AFC club executive, a team that needs a quarterback. They told me that they had been actively called by the Jets inquiring about whether they had interest in Sanchez.
Okay.
So that doesn't happen if you're not intent on moving a guy.
We are about 15 minutes away from the start and the first pick, and we know the first two picks is very simple. Everything is etched in stone there. The Colts have already said that they will take Andrew Luck from Stanford, and the Redskins will take Robert Griffin III, RG3 from Baylor. Then it gets interesting, and Ray, I'll let you take it from here. The Browns have already made a move here before the draft begins.
Right, the Browns moved up from 4 to 3, so clearly there's a guy that they want, but they were afraid that Minnesota was going to drop down and they would not enable Cleveland to get the guy they wanted. So there have been rumors Jacksonville wanted to move up to 3 to get a receiver, rumors that the Jets had interest in moving up to get the running back. So Cleveland either wants the back or the receiver. It's going to be Trent Richardson or it's going to be Justin Blackman. I think it's probably Richardson. Now they gave up a 4th, a 5th, and a 7th in this year's draft. If you're a Browns fan, don't worry about that because you have 13 picks going into this draft. You still have 5 picks in the top 3 rounds, so you're okay depth-wise. You still have 2 first-rounders, but you just ensured that you moved up to 3 to get the guy you want.
And who is that guy again? The Browns get 3.
Well, I thought in my mock I had Justin Blackman going to look. If you're a believer in Colt McCoy, and the Browns seem to be so, then you have to surround him with weapons to be able to judge how good a quarterback he is. So they can't go wrong either way. I said Blackman because I thought the receiver would really help him out. Certainly a running back who can carry the load will help him out. They can't go wrong either way, but I'm guessing they moved from 4 to 3 to guarantee they got Trent Richardson.
Okay. And then what happens to what you thought the Vikings, and you're in agreement here with Gary Myers. I have Gary Myers' mock draft, Gary with the New York Daily News, and I have Ray Brownell's mock draft. You both had a Morris Claiborne, cornerback LSU, going to Minnesota.
Yeah, and I still think he does. I think Minnesota drops down, although there's rumors going around the Vikings are still trying to drop down further. But assuming they stay at 4, they've picked up an extra 4, an extra 5, and an extra 7 from the Browns, so they're going to add depth to their squad. And they still get the guy that I think they want, and that's Morris Claiborne. Because look, they're in a division that's very pass-heavy, and they can't cover wide receivers. The Vikings can't. They need a cornerback who can cover Calvin Johnson, a cornerback who can cover Green Bay receivers, a cornerback who can cover Brandon Marshall. So they need somebody, a top-flight corner, and this is the guy for them.
All right, let's get to some regional teams of interest here very quickly, Ray, as we get set to go. The Giants aren't going to pick for a long time. You think the tight end from Stanford is going to be around?
I've been saying all along, I think Kobe Fleener is the guy at 32 for the Giants. I'm a little nervous about San Francisco at 30, but the way my mock fell out, there's a receiver that I think San Francisco likes, Stephen Hill out of Georgia Tech. 4.35, 40 speed, kid is fast as lightning. He doesn't have a lot of tape on him from receiving the ball at Georgia Tech, but they're not a passing team. You know, Calvin Johnson didn't have a lot of tape either. Look what he's done when he came into the league. So I think Stephen Hill is the guy who helps that San Francisco offense get over the hump. That leaves Fleener, the tight end, for the New York Giants.
All right, the Buffalo Bills are in the top 10. They're at number 10 here tonight. I think you said on my radio show this morning that Riley Reep, he's a tackle from Iowa, could be their pick at number 10.
Yeah, I'm assuming in this that obviously Matt Khalil is gone. I know the Bills like Khalil. They don't have the ammunition to trade up to get him. So they're going to go for the second best guy, and that's Riley Reep, because they do need help on the offensive line. Now look, we know the Bills have other names as well. Wide receiver, corner, but Riley Reep is the guy who solves a position in need. He can play left tackle in a pinch, he can play right tackle. He can really get the job done. He's a guy that Buffalo's going to take at 10.
All right, now you also this morning, and Ray was with us on the radio side this morning, the Jets have the 16th pick in this first round. Do you still see them moving up in this draft?
Yeah, there's a guy that, as I was saying this morning, Rex Ryan is waxing poetic about a guy named Courtney Upshaw, an outside linebacker, defensive end out of Alabama. He's a great player, but that's all a smokescreen. The guy Rex Ryan loves is Melvin Ingram, a defensive end linebacker out of South Carolina. In order to guarantee the Jets get him, because there's rumors Miami takes him at 8 instead of the quarterback, the Jets have to move up to 7 with Jacksonville. By doing that, they get Melvin Ingram, the defensive end linebacker outside of South Carolina.
Okay. So that's the Jets, the Bills, now the Patriots. So what's your mock draft tell you tonight on New England? They have 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, they do. They have 2 first-round picks, and I know a lot of people think that they're going to trade out one for future picks like they tend to do. That's how they end up with 2 every year. I think they hold both of these. So I think defensively they need enough help that with the first pick, which is 27, a pick they got from New Orleans last year when New Orleans traded up to get the running back, they take Devin Still from your alma mater, Penn State University. That would be a great pick for them. And then at 31, they come back with a guy who's really been climbing the boards. Mike Mayock said yesterday he thinks he's going to be the most successful defensive player in this draft in 3 years. And he played at Syracuse against Chandler Jones, defensive end. Fiery, motor, non-stop, rush the passer, give the Patriots some of that pass rush dimension that they've been lacking for a while. So I think they go defense in round 1, come back with their 2 picks in round 2, and go offense.
All right, so Chandler Jones, local product relatively from Syracuse, defensive end. Ray Brownell has him going to New England Patriots, number 31 overall in the first round. Ray, what about wide receivers? Who's the first wide receiver that you have going here tonight? I see you have Cleveland at number 4 with Justin Blackman.
Right. Now Cleveland just moved up to 3.
So
now, it may be Blackman. I think it's Richardson.
Right.
Okay. But I know that then that's going to leave Blackman. The next team that likes him is Jacksonville. So if they don't move out like I have the Jets doing, I don't see Tampa taking him. I don't see St. Louis taking him. Minnesota's a possibility for Blackman, but I think that their bigger need is at corner in that division.
So how about quarterback, Ray? We know the top 2 quarterbacks in the draft. Then there seems to be a little bit of disagreement on who the next quarterback will be taken. Outside of the top 2, where do you stand with the rest of the quarterbacks in this draft?
Well, there's a significant drop-off after the top 2, no question. I do think Ryan Tannehill is the 3rd best quarterback in this draft. I think he's going to go in the 1st round. I don't think he goes to Miami at 8, though. I think Miami drops out of that pick because they don't want to overpay for Tannehill at that spot. There's a guy Dallas likes. I think Dallas moves up with Miami and takes safety Mark Barron out of Alabama ahead of Carolina, who likes him. I think Miami drops to 14, takes Tannehill there. Much better value for them. They're going to go with Garrard and Matt Moore. One of those guys is going to be the starter. You grew Tannehill for a year because both those guys are on 1-year deals, and Tannehill's your guy in 2013.
All right, I see a couple of jerseys out here, Ray. Let's cater to those. Over here on my right, one of my colleagues at the Mighty 1-3 is Eddie. He's a big St. Louis Rams fan. He's got the throwback jerseys on tonight. How about the Rams tonight?
Well, the Rams,
Coach Jeff Fisher.
They're going to get off to a great start tonight. You know, they had the number 2 pick. They got a lot of value for it by trading with Washington. They dropped to 6. They're going to get the guy they wanted all along at number 2, and that's Matt Khalil, the offensive tackle out of USC. He is a game changer. St. Louis needs offensive line protection, and they're going to get it with Khalil.
All right, I see one of my Steelers fans in the back there. What about the Pittsburgh Steelers tonight in your mock draft?
Steelers have needs on both sides of the ball, offensive line and linebacker, both inside and outside. I know, I've heard people that know Mike Tomlin well say he's enamored with Donta Hightower, inside linebacker from Alabama. I think he's going to be there, and I think Hightower's going to be the Steelers pick.
All right, Steelers pick. What other jerseys do we see out there? We have a Miami Dolphins jersey here, too.
Yeah,
Miami.
Billy Porter over there.
Okay, I got Billy Porter jersey. What's going on with Miami tonight?
Yeah, like I said, I think Miami drops down from 8 in a trade with Dallas, because Dallas covets the strong safety Mark Barron out of Alabama. They want to get him ahead of Carolina at 9, who really likes him. So Miami drops to 14. They need quarterback, they need wide receiver, they need defensive end. There's a lot of great players in that spot, and I think they feel a lot better taking Tannehill at 14 than they do at 8.
All right, Ray Brownell will be in the house with us. Byron Hunt, I think you may have already met Byron Hunt. He's making his way around the Recovery Sports Grill here in Rotterdam. I don't know that we'll ever get him back up to the microphone because he's having much too good of a time with mingling with everybody here tonight. It's great to have the former Giant with us here throughout the course of the evening with the NFL Draft about ready to go. Let's give away, Ray, another pair of the Yankee tickets.
Sure.
And then we'll give away the other 2 pair a little bit later on in the next hour. Ray, take a look at this question. Do you like this?
Oh, I love that question. That's a great question.
That's a great question. I don't think it's an easy one, is it?
No, I don't think it's easy.
No, okay.
Some football people should know it, but it's not easy by any means.
All right, the way it's going to work, if you know the answer, you sprint to Scott. Scott, you sprint to Scott if you know the answer. If you don't know the answer, don't sprint. Just walk slowly. All right, here we go. Where did Antonio Gates go to college? Where did Antonio Gates go to college? Scott Barber has the microphone. State your name and give me the answer. Not Gonzaga.
No, that's my name.
Oh.
Kent State.
He did go to Kent State. Come on up, my man. You got Yankee tickets. That's for the Detroit Tiger game on Saturday at 4 o'clock at Yankee Stadium. They're yours.
And one of our clients, Josh Cribbs, also went to Kent State, by the way.
There we go. So somebody got that ASAP. We have two more pairs to give away, and we'll do that a little bit later on once we get underway with the draft. So a little short time out. It's just about 8.